Hey, this is Edna White. I am so glad you're with me today. What if 2025 became the year everything aligned for you? Where every decision you made, every step you took moved you closer to success and fulfillment. I'm here today to talk to you about 2025 goal setting, how you balance the mindset shift and commitment to decisions. A lot of times we do not complete what we start. We start something with the premise that this is what I'm supposed to do, that this is what was given to me or what I've been told. And then all of a sudden, throughout the year, it fades away. I know that's happened to me many times. I've said that these things, these ideas, or these great, great ideas just come plummeting to me, and yet, at a turning point, I don't complete it at all. And you know what? And if I do, or if I even start it, I lose balance. And when I say balance, I mean that something overrides the completion of the project. I don't have balance, and then I'm getting overwhelmed, right? And then after that, my mindset is not focused. I'm totally all over the place. You ever felt like that? Just totally all over the place about everything. Yeah, it's totally the worst feeling to feel overwhelmed about something. But we want to be able to commit to a key decision. I'm going to tell you something. Making a decision is part of your self-worth. It's committing that I have this choice, allowing myself to have this ability or allow myself to make a decision. So giving myself that power. And then once I have that power, I have confidence I can make a decision and trust myself, right? But if you don't think that you have the power to make a decision, you'll never do that. And that goes right back to mindset. It goes right back to having balance. Have you ever been on a job and you never have any time to do anything? To do laundry, to take care of yourself, you partly take care of your dog or your children or your husband, but you really don't put in the time, you're not connected. Yeah, that's what it does. Sometimes that's what work does to you. When you are not balanced, when you are working on somebody else's goals and they're not aligned with you. That's simple and easy as to put it. You're on somebody else's belief system and not your own. And when I say that, you are believing something that someone told you, but it doesn't align with what you really believe. What are your core values? Just because you were raised in a home with certain core values, certain things that people said, does not mean that you don't have your own core values. What's important to you? We don't do that. What's important to you has to line up with what you're doing. What you are seeing about, what you're taking part of. It has a lot to do with it. So today we're diving into 3 transformative principles that will guide you through 2025. That's balance, that's mindset, and that's commitment to decisions. So let's talk about balance for a moment. If you all are out there and you're listening, put in the box what you think balance is. Tell us what you think balance is and what it looks like and feels like for you. And I'll give you a couple of seconds. Oh, I see some people on YouTube. Okay, all right. Great. So balance is having those fundamental things in life. Finances, socialization, physical, mental, and whether you believe it or not, it's not spiritual. I knew he was going to think that. It's not spiritual. No, not at all. It's not that. It's your social life. It's 5 things. 5 things that you need to have on balance. So that's friendship, relationships, social. So it's all your relationship, your connectivity, the 5 things that connect you to this world. That's what they are. 5 things that connect you to this world. And you need that mental, you need that physical, right? You need all of that. So why does balance matter? Success isn't about achieving more at the cost of your health, your relationships, or inner peace. It's about creating harmony across all those areas. So let's just think about your life, right? Think about it, and think about your life as a wheel with spokes. Maybe a wagon wheel. Yeah, wagon wheel. And then each spoke is work, family, health, personal growth, okay? If one of those, think about them as your, okay, just think about them. Now, think which ones that you lack or weak, which one you're weak in. Okay. Now, if you're weak in one of those areas, which is a spoke on that wheel is in trouble because it's going to break down sooner or later, which we see as burnout or we see and just break down. So think about that when you're trying to balance out your life. It's not about having all those things, but all of them are weak. It's about having them all, and all of them are strong. That's what balance is all about. So let's talk about how to take steps to cultivate balance. Number 1 is set non-negotiables. And if you guys kind of follow me, you know I always talk about the non-negotiable of me having meditation time before I get started to go to work. I always talk about that. And that was a non-negotiable even when I was negotiating to work for somebody. To even when I now have my coaching clients, I don't take anyone before that time. You know, so I give myself time to actually meditate, to exercise, and then get to the flow of things. Right? So those are non-negotiable needs. The other thing is the weekends, is family and personal reflection time. That's the weekend, or whatever I want to do. So those are non-negotiables, you know. So we set things in non-negotiables. Another non-negotiable for me, if you call me and don't have an appointment, and you just want to chat, and it's not that you're not my friend. If you're my friend, that's different. But if you just call me out of the blue, and you want to pick my brain, doesn't happen without an appointment. That doesn't happen. It's non-negotiable. If you want me to make a decision the very second, unless it's life or death, not happening. Those are non-negotiables because I want to be able to have an informed decision. So examples of that I just shared with you was daily exercise, family time, personal reflection. Those are things that we want to have a New Year's resolution on, and we don't even complete it, but we should have it every day. Now that requires a mindset of making a decision to do it. Simple as that. Make a decision to do it. It's either yes or no, but don't complain at the end of I'm not going to do it and then complain. Do not complain, because remember that you're responsible. Even whatever decision you make, you're responsible to make it right, or just be responsible to make it right, or make the right decision, or that's it. Make the right decision, or decide to make it right. Either way, it's up to you, right? So block time in your calendar like you would a work or meeting. You know, that's what I do. The phone is not just for taking pictures and talking. It's for actually scheduling things. Use your phone to block time into that calendar like you would a work meeting. Anything that you need, personal appointments, you put it in there. Do that for yourself. Make yourself accountable for yourself if you don't have someone that could do that. And number 2, everybody knows the 80-20 rule, right? Focus on 20% of activities that yield 80% of the results. I love that. I love that if I have a project to do and I get the results I want, even if I didn't finish it 100%, I love it because I get the result. Focus on 20% of the activities, whatever you need to do, that yield 80% of your results. So that goes for everything. Even if when you're setting your systems up for your business, when you're setting up your calendar for yourself, all of that. When you're setting up a budget, everything, it matters with that 20-80 rule. It just matters. We have to learn to take care of things that matter and leave other things that don't matter, leave them alone. Number 3 is reflect weekly. Each week, ask yourself, am I neglecting any area in my life? What needs to be adjusted? Do I need to work that out? What needs to be adjusted? Be real with yourself. Hey, sit down and talk to yourself. 5 minutes, maybe that's all you need. But do that. Ask yourself. So, after reflecting on all of this, what I just said a few minutes ago, here's the question you need to ask yourself, and I need you to write it down because this will take you through the whole year. What is one area in your life that needs more attention in 2025? What is one area? Remember, small steps. What is one area in your life that needs more attention in 2025? Make sure you do that for yourself. Maybe it's just seeing about yourself, making sure that you're really on top of things for yourself, that you're really, maybe you want a relationship, but are you sure you're ready to love? Maybe you need to do some reflective stuff on that. Maybe you are escalating in your career, but things are lacking in your life. There's no balance. You go straight to bed. When you get home and you're completely tired, or maybe you have a side hustle that you're not paying attention to because you're completely tired, and that's called burnout. You're burning yourself out. No balance. Something is not aligned on the inside of you. What are your core values that you really agree with, that you really, you don't want to give up on, those no's, set those boundaries. What are they? Are you compromising your boundaries? Maybe, possibly, yeah. Okay, so here we go with the mindset shift. Now that we are we've done all that work, right? We wrote that question down. Now, getting out of your own way. That's a mindset shift. Getting out of your own way. We all have little voices in our heads telling us what we can do. It's time to change the narrative. We all have it. You've heard it. It's said it to you. You know you gotta change, but guess what? You start running, doing other stuff for everybody else, or you're doing something that you don't really need to do, but you just do it because you think you can get further by doing it when you're really not. All you're doing is tearing yourself down. Here's a quote that you'll like. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you want a different reality in 2025, you need a new mindset. And if there are Bible believers out there, it says, there should be a renewing of your mind. Now, every time you read that, or every time it comes across, renewing means always. It's not one time. It's always. It's ever-changing. Ever-changing. Doesn't mean today you're going to think, maybe tomorrow you'll think different. But renewing your mind means always, continually growing that mind, expanding that thought, expanding on how you feel about things. So renew your mind. Your beliefs shape your reality. What you believe, consciously as well as subconsciously, is your reality. If you believe that in your business you're not going to get any big brands, that's exactly what's going to happen. If you believe you're a nonprofit and you will never get a sponsor like Home Depot or any big company or anybody big, that's what you believe. If you believe nonprofits are little and that's where you belong, that's what you're going to believe. If you believe small businesses really mean small businesses, that's what you're going to believe. If you believe that you are destined to be just like your mom or your dad, that's what you believe. Your belief shapes your reality. And we have to come to grips with that, because we believe stuff and we don't say it and acknowledge that we do believe it. And for some apparent reason, we shouldn't say it. Because it's like a dirty mop. When you mop and you put it in a bucket. Well, if you keep using the same water, first of all, it gets stale or whatever that's called. It gets stink. But if you keep using that water, right, with the same mop, you're not doing anything. You're just putting compounded things on top of it, right? But if you empty the water, dirty water out, and you rinse it out and put clean water in, you can start again. That's what renewing the mind is. You may be having some thinking, but you have to do things differently now, because it no longer serves you. All it does is keep you behind those bars and captive. And you don't want to be captive. You want to be free. You want to fly free. You want to think free. You want to be free. You want to act free. You want freedom. So what are some of the common limiting beliefs besides what I just told you? The common one is, I'm not enough. Or, here's a big one, I don't have time. You know how you package it? There's not enough hours in the day? Right. You keep saying, I don't have time, you will never have time. The words that you say have to change. It's too late for me to start again. What you say is what's going to happen. There's been so many beautiful people that have, created beautiful things, made great businesses, had great successes at late ages. Had nothing to do with, their age or anything. Had to do what they believed. And it was just the right time for them to start. We, or some of us, believe it's too late, and that's what we're going to have in our reality. So we want to be able to overcome those limiting beliefs. Start to write them down. Write them down. Get them out of you. Write them down, get them out of you, and rip them up or burn them, throw them out, whatever, and never say them again. Never believe them again. And as soon as you start thinking that way, stop it right now. No thinking like that. Stop it right now. You stop it. It's a lot of work, right? I know. It's really hard. But it's all worth it. So here's steps to shift your mindset. Number 1, recognize the belief. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me or holding me back? Right? Number 2, reframe the thought. Replace I can't with how can I? When can I? Right? So reframe the thought, I can't, to how can I? You're asking yourself these questions, you know why? Because you have everything on the inside of you, within you, everywhere, to do what you need to do. Whenever the assignment comes, it's for you. Okay, it's for you. Some assignments are not for you because you want to, a lot of time we live in our trauma and we're trying to outlive our trauma because our trauma is always speaking to us about what we should do so we can get, we want to be better than the trauma was, but we really are repeating the trauma because we get so burnt out because we take on too much and get too overwhelmed and then we stop. Okay, so make sure that what you're doing is not in your trauma. It's not coming from all that's going on in your emotions, in your past traumas. Make sure it's not that. Number 3, take small, proving actions. See, this is the good part. Take small, proving actions. Meaning, if you think you're not disciplined, right, commit to one small habit daily and track your success. I started meditating 7 years ago. 7 whole years ago, and I have not stopped. It's a part of my daily life, but I had to make a decision to do it and physically do it and strategically do it and make sure that nothing got in the way of it because it kept me clear, kept me sharp, kept me smart, kept me on point. And meditation doesn't mean I'm sitting there going, it means I might be just quiet for 15, 20 minutes, maybe even an hour. Maybe it's just walking in nature one day. Whatever it is, I just go into it. Without any music or anything like that, I'm into it. I'm staying present in the moment. I'm seeing how beautiful the sky is. I'm looking at the tree, looking at the different leaves. I'm doing all of that. I'm staying present, right? So here's an activity for you to do. Write down one limiting belief that you'll leave behind, that you believed in 2024, and one empowering belief that you'll embrace for 2025. I'm going to say that one more time. This is your activity. Write down one limiting belief that you believed in 2024 that you want to leave behind, and one empowering belief you'll embrace for 2025. Okay? All right. So now we're almost winding down. We're winding down to I think the last part. Commitment to decisions. The power of follow through. Right? Why does decisions matter? Imagine standing at a fork in the road, paralyzed by indecision. Every moment you wait is a moment lost. Now, waiting is different than decision making, right? Waiting is just standing for something to come in the air and point you in the right direction. Decision and processing is, if I go this way, I see that down the road there's this or that, and you're making an educated decision as best as you can. And then you're going to drop the decision right there. So think of that when you get to a decision, that there's a fork in the road, and there's not going to be a sign that comes out of heaven, or that's not heaven, but it's going to come out of the sky or through the wind or whatever. You have to make that decision. There's been so many people in this world that have made decisions, educated decisions. You need sometimes to make decisions and move through them. And confident decisions, because if you're processing, you're going to make confident decisions. So it's important that statistically, there's, I can't even give you a stat, but there's just so many people that have made decisions. And even yourself, look at yourself. What important decisions have you made or helped someone to make that were right on target? You've done it before. You can do it again. It just takes that now it's you and you alone. So here's the keys to effective decision making. Clarity. Know what you truly want by defining your why. Why are you doing something? See, a lot of times that when we are getting involved in a lot of things that we do, we don't have a clear why. We do it because Joanne is doing it. We do it because Peter told us to do it. We're doing it because Mom said it would be a great idea. We're doing it because everybody said you can't do it. But why are you doing it? That's the clarity. Why are you doing it? It doesn't have to line up with everybody's why or what they told you, but why are you doing it? Is it what you want to do, or is it what you want somebody else wants you to do? Right? Know your why. 2, confidence. Trust that you'll adjust if needed. Now, decision is not one way or the other. If you say yes and then it messes up, then you can kind of fix it and go the other direction. You know what I'm saying? So you can adjust it. It's easy. No decision is ever perfect, but action beats inaction every time. That's it. Trust yourself, even if you make the wrong decision, that you're going to make it right. And you might have to adjust or pivot. It doesn't matter. Action beats inaction every time. 3, consistency. Create a system to track your progress and hold yourself accountable. I have a system. When I come up with ideas, I write it out, I get it done, and then I ask myself, when am I going to do this? Is this something I want to do? Or is it something that just I think my competitors are doing? Why do I want to do this? And if I need to test it and do some research, I'll test it. And then, hey, if it doesn't work, nobody shows up, nobody, participates, guess what? It was a great idea. I got my extra practice, I'm good money, and I hold myself accountable. I hold myself to it, period. So what's your decision today? What's decision that you've been avoiding? If you made it today, could you change the course of your year? What's that one decision you could do and that you've been avoiding? Could it change the course of 2025? Is it making 5 calls a week? Is it contacting and setting up conferences? Is it having talks with your past clients? What is it that you need to do to get into action for this year? In 2025, balance will sustain you, mindset will empower you, and commitment in decisions will propel you forward. The best way to predict your future is to create it. We have the power to create it, and the only way to do that is balance, mindset, and commitment. Start today. Align your goals with your well-being. Make sure that you're healthy. What you're doing is when you come home and you're feeling good and you can kind of balance hanging out with your dog, play with your dog a little bit, sitting up and maybe watching a little bit of television, or maybe even dancing to some music, or engaging your family. If it's limiting you to that, and that you're suffering in your body, and you're always tired, it's time to realign that. Free your mind of the limits and decide to act. What's your first step towards making 2025 your breakthrough year? What is it? I hope that I said something that can encourage you to, take this year into your vision. And it's not a vision board thing, but it's more or less checking what you already do. I hope that it helps you to do that, and I hope you have a stellar year, because it's not always about this is not really the first part of the year. It's the calendar year, but we don't know when our first part of the year comes, because that's whole nother story about the calendars. But start this year off with some great work, that you're aligned and that you're moving forward in a better way. Hope to see you and talk to you real soon. If you ever need me, you can find me on www.ednawhite.com. You can look me up. If you would like a free session, you're more than welcome to find it on that website, www.ednawhite.com, and I'll give you a free discovery session, help you strategize your year. This is Edna White, signing off.